Hello. Make sure everything is set up properly. Looks like it is.
Light on?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you. All right. Where were we? Oh, yes, we were having fun with the demolishers. And I was making power armor so we can get that swapped over. And obviously I'm going to need to make some stuff for that. No big deal. Yeah, so one of the first things we're going to be doing is taking care of that demolisher. That should be fun. So I think we're going to end up kind of just doing it the old-fashioned way. I should be fine. I'm going to take some poison capsules with us anyways. Have some extra gun turrets. And I can craft a few more. You should be kind of pretty close. That's what I'll need for gun turrets. Gears, I have copper plates, I have iron plates. I can get us a few more. I probably need some more ammo. Yes. So we will probably have some time to get set up first. I think I might try to lure him in. Yeah, and there's going to be a bit of... what else can I grab? Stockpiling some... whatchamacallit, some carbon. I guess I could have grabbed that while I was over here. Yeah, lots of carbon. Nice. And that'll bring some more down from up above too. Hello. We are going to kill a demolisher because we need access to better tungsten, so tungsten ore. Do I have... I just put away some stuff. A little bit of extra plates. And toss that in here for some more reinforced concrete because we're going to need to ramp up on the foundries. Do I have a chest? Needed somewhere for that to go. Okay, so as we're making some gun turrets, I am going to go down and get prepared. This should be fun. I'm 90% sure that we can just kill it. So I'll kind of do a mix of both. Like I'm going to set up a decently large section with gun turrets. Let's say something like this. I don't even know if we have that much ammo and or gun turrets. Worst case scenario, I can pull like half of some of the ammo from the ones in the back. And I kind of need the bots to do all this because they can get the 10 ammo faster. I can place these help the bots out a bit. And I have plenty enough power in my power armor. Yeah, I definitely need to fill that bad boy up. By the time he triggers, he's probably gonna come up from over here somewhere. So I might not have like a good opportunity to kite him. The power armor will be nice though because we get a little bit of extra fire resistance. Okay, that's all of our ammo. Okay, no. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take half the ammo from the back. And they're just gonna put it right back in. Nice. Oh, basically none of these have full ammo. Okay, well, that's gonna be a different problem. Come on, I just need them all to have something. Get. Fine, we'll just remove that one. Hopefully this will be enough to do some damage. Yeah, it sucks. I don't have like a good way. I can't squeeze through this section, so hopefully he does not come up over here. We can meet him down here and maybe toss some capsules, get him going. Kite him up a little bit before we get to the gun turrets. I am not going to be able to get back fast enough if he is. I also don't know how far this goes, so this might... Now I'm worried. I definitely need to make some legs, and soon. That would make this so much easier, I feel. Okay, he's not over here to the left, or at least not in the immediate left. And since I don't have sight up here, like I don't have a radar or anything, I wouldn't be able to hear him going to my turrets, so I do kind of need to hover back a bit. And hopefully the turrets are actually, yeah, it looks like they're in the designated section, so just a little bit of a waiting game. I'm pretty confident that we can, I mean, even though we don't have that much ammo, I could probably grab some more real quick. Like, even though we don't have, like, that much ammo with the poison capsules, I should be fine. And my goodness, do I ever need some legs and, like, soon. 128. I mean, we're basically going to be wasting all this ammo, so I would be surprised if most of our turrets survived it. But I guess we're about to find out, right? Okay, so we have plenty of time for the bots to do their bot things. Come on, this turret's still not going to get ammo? Like, none? Just a little bit? No? Whatever. I am being damaged on novice. This is... Oh, that's not good. A section I do not have reinforced, and that is far away. There you go. There's our kind of time limit. But I didn't hear any destruction, so that's maybe a positive. So whatever was over here at least held off enough that the expansion team did not get through, so... Oh, I hear him. Where is he? South. Alright, so we're gonna get some poison capsules. We're gonna get kind of as close as we can. And we're just gonna lead him up this way. And hope and pray this works. Okay, that was actually not that bad. Sweet. And apparently my own poison damages me. That was something I was not aware of. Good to know, I guess. Maybe that's why I was screwing up so hard yesterday. This is going to give us some extra tungsten. Do you want? I thought I grabbed some... Okay, I've got repair packs in there. Alright. I'm not too concerned about the repair packs. For the bots, I'm okay, maybe a little concerned? Come on, guys. Where's my tank? I have not made a tank yet. We like bare bones did over to Vulcanus, like hardly anything. Even if I did have a tank, I do not have uranium shells. I have not started mining uranium at all. Which might be something that I might try to do that remotely, because I have uranium over here. So it wouldn't be that difficult to kind of route some sulfuric acid out this way. I could literally do it right over these roboports, just all the way out, straight out. Would probably dodge these cliffs, it looks like, my roboport grid. Tell you what, let's assume that we're going to do that and just maybe prepare a little bit. The bots can start the process. But at least on the bright side, we know we can kill at least a small demolisher, so the military concerns are at least a little bit less. I don't know how much damage the poison capsules actually ended up doing, but... Okay, so we need to start figuring out, one, we need to get some metallurgic science. So for metallurgic science, we just need to make some... I think I need a foundry. We're just going to slap one down. Need this. Right, so that'll get us metallurgic science, right? Yes. Sweet. So now we have the ability to get... What do we need? What do we want, I should say? We definitely want cliff explosives, probably sooner rather than later, because we're going to need a lot of space. You know what? Maybe I should also... Maybe I should try to squeeze in some explosives down here, so that way I'm not burning through my coal. I did take a little bit of a cheaty view, and I know that I have a decent coal patch to the north up here, and most of our expansion will be out this way to the right, to the kind of northeast. Oh, look at RD25, nice. Okay, so we need to tap this guy down here for sure. Hello. And definitely need to automate some more of this, like, so that I'm not doing this whole, like, back and forth. Let's get some power down. So we want to make sure that we have some extra power. I've got steam being created here, so I can probably just... We can pull power out this way. Once we get rid of the cliffs, we can probably use this section for power. It's right next door to this sulfuric acid. There's another sulfuric acid up here, so at least it's like nearby. Not that that matters too much. Let's just do it here for now. If I remember right, 5 is a decent ratio. Yeah, so we'll just do 5. That will get us in between substations. There. Now we're not worried about solar power too much, or only having the solar power. Yeah, that's way better. 100 megawatts. I'm pretty sure I brought 30. This is not going to extend all the way. If we just pull these back one, then that'll be fine. Okay, and that brings us to about as much power as we have on Novice, so we're good for power for quite a bit. As long as we can keep up with the sulfuric acid. 2 of these is not going to be enough for most of what we need. But seems fine for now. So this is producing with the uncommon quality. This is producing 2.6k per second, and these are consuming 60 per second times 3, so or times 30, so we're good on that end for a bit. That's 1800, so that's at least just the one. And this is not consuming that much. Oh, 100. Okay, so we might need to add another one of these. I mean, that's only if we're like heavy on the power. Got rid of Demolisher, yeah. So we more or less just loaded up with gun turrets. I had basically an entire section right here of gun turrets, and then also use the poison capsules. Figured I'd go ahead and get that out of the way since we had some fun failing that yesterday. That was hilarious. I was not expecting it to just like fall over like that. If you guys saw that. Looks like this is not being consumed fast enough either, so we're probably going to back up on, looks like we're backing up on copper right now. Lava is straight back, so I could do a little bit of a detour and dump the extra. Where do I want to do this? Foundries eat power quickly, you'll have to add more turbines. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, normally this will be fine starting out because we're not going to make... I kind of think that I just probably want to make just enough to get things going. So I want to have kind of like a solid foundation. Maybe like a starter base type thing, something like... I don't like I know this is kind of like this is a pseudo starter base, let's say. Because, I mean, I'm manually inserting tons of different things for this thing. I would like to maybe automate something small, just so we can get some science going. Because I definitely need to... We're definitely going to have to solve this biter problem at some point soon, and soon. I just got attacked up here. My defense, or what was up here, held a little bit. I have a feeling I'm probably going to get attacked again. Probably not up here. Like, this is probably one of the least likely places, and I've reinforced what I think is probably going to be the only 2 points that they will come, but this is probably more likely. This is probably more likely. Where's that one down here? This one. I'm actually surprised that this got attacked. Maybe they were expanding in this direction. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. Make a bot mall? Yeah. Make like a foundry bot mall. Can the biters not expand when you type them in? Type what in? Oh, pipe them in like this. So this is, it's called spawn blocking. Oops. So this is spawn blocking. So it takes every potential spawn point for a biter and makes it so that they cannot actually place biters on the ground. Because some genius person figured out that like as long as you have one here, one here, one here, and one here, and then go 3 spaces out, 3 spaces out, and then fill in that grid. That is literally every single spawn point. So they start like trying to spawn, I think right here. And there's like different priorities that they have in this grid section. I don't think I'm pretty sure I don't have this blueprint anymore. But the way that I set the blueprint up was basically using... what did I use? I used a biolab, I think. It's basically just that. So you have them three tiles away from each other, or 2 tiles in between, here and here, and then 3 worth out. And I just copied this and pasted it onto each of these, so you can kind of see that this will, there, that will line up, everything's blue. This will line up, everything's blue. That and that. So they can technically make new nests, but it is only possible from outside of my network because I have every single biter nest inside my network or inside my walls is completely blocked off, with this one here being like the most difficult. This one, just this section alone, took me, I think it was like 20 to 25 minutes just to completely block in this section, because you're both having to fight off the biters and place all these pipes. That's also why in my starter base I try to get a little bit of blue science so that I could get to early bots. So I basically redesigned my entire starter base just so I could get, like I said, a little bit of blue science, some bots, and decided to use it to my advantage to spawn block with bots. Initially, I didn't have bots whenever I started doing it. So like these, I think I placed all of these by hand, and maybe a couple more. I definitely wouldn't have done a 4 patch by hand, so I think maybe just possibly these 2. For sure this one I did by hand. But yeah, so they can make nests, but only outside of my wall, and if they break in, then they can make it inside my wall. But that's kind of the race for time that we have right now. I'm trying to get artillery because what I'm trying to get is keeping your hands clean. This achievement: destroy your first enemy structure using artillery. So since we haven't destroyed any structures, I'm now on Vulcanus trying to get... Hello. I am now on Vulcanus trying to unlock artillery so that I can send it back to Novice, destroy one, and then just go ham and clear them out. I tend to prefer, like, my playstyle is I tend to prefer not to turtle. I'm not like the defensive player. I'm a very offensive player whenever it comes to the biters. I like to make sure to stay ahead of my pollution cloud and just clear as much as I can within reason. Like sometimes I won't have, like the proper military research and stuff like that. So that is where we're at now. Like I said, I would like to try to tech up enough that I can get... Well, for starters, I need cliff explosives because we're going to need that to expand. But then we also want to get to... Here is the artillery. The artillery here, which is also going to need yellow science. And I don't have any yellow science going at the moment. I was hoping to do a lot of that here, but again, like I'm just kind of playing it by ear at this point. I don't have like a complete solid plan. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I want this to be in here. And I don't want this to drain completely. So let's actually do this. Let's count and see how much we have here. So 13. So let's connect this to here. Read all, and let's say go right if stone is less than, let's just do 80. And go left if stone is greater than 80. There, so now we can at least control some of the flow and have this be somewhat fed as we start doing stuff. Find tungsten first, yeah. We definitely need to set that up, but... I'm also trying to juggle, like, getting some of the foundry stuff set up. I have, what, 9? I mean, that's maybe enough to get us kind of started. Like I said, tiny operation. We're going to be doing at least a couple of buildings for each of the things that we need. Not really ratioed, we're just going to play it by ear. But yes, I need... How many miners do I have? I think I had like 15. 10? 10. Oh, I put some on my coal. 17. Nice. You did miss the Demolisher. So, the Demolisher ended up going down with... the Demolisher ended up going down. I ended up just making... Or I grabbed all of the ammo that I had. I grabbed all the gun turrets that I had. So I did make a pretty large gun turret wall. And then also used the poison capsules that I had. So... and the power armor that I started making yesterday. The Revenge of Leroy. Yeah. But don't worry, there will be more to come, I'm sure, because I would like to expand to unlock this. And I think there's some space over here. I don't know how much of that we'll get into today, but Definitely in the near future. Where did my power poles go? This is going to be such a nightmare because the only way that I can really bring this in is through this little gap, I think. I can weasel something in through here. Yeah. Still a pain. I mean, we can basically only get one belt wide. We would only be producing one belt anyways. Yeah, this would not fit a second one. Oh my gosh, I need legs. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the bots off. We're gonna do this with ghosts to start with because I just want to like, you know, do it with ghosts. I just want to like see like where can I fit oh, really? There's lava there? Okay, so I'm only gonna be able to fit 3 wide, so let's start there and see how this works out. Okay, well this won't be too bad. I don't like having things awkwardly offset, but is what it is. Am I even gonna be able to get this through here? No. Should be better. Oh, so close. Oh, that actually almost covers everything. Start at the top. Don't forget to put down productivity modules in the miners. If I had productivity modules, I'm not too concerned about it because once I get a really, really good, solid science going here, which is not going to be... Oh man, I do need to have something going though for science because... Okay, so I kind of have 2 things here. I'm going to be sending some metallurgic science back to novice, not much, just a little bit, because I only have my starter base, right? So I'm going to have to mix in... This was a bad idea. So I'm going to have to mix in some metallurgic science into this. But I eventually want my science to like mostly be on Vulcanus, so... I'm just glad we have something going. Yeah, in this patch, with or without productivity modules, this patch is not going to last too long. 200 started at 236k, so, and we're not going to be able to mine 100% of that. That covers a decent chunk. Yeah, we might be able to get all of it down in here if we offset it some more. Okay, so now we need to start thinking about where are we actually going to place stuff. Oh, you know what? I have, I can get the limited amount of bots that I have to start actually doing stuff. Now that we have enough power, they can put as many roboports out as they want. We can get a deconstruct trees and rocks. Which I believe we do not have the space for. But whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so let's take a look. I think well, I'd like to dodge this as best that I can, but if we have to clip the top of it where these are now, uh, maybe not a big deal. I can probably like stagger them and then do some underground belting. Back on novice, I do have steam turbines. Let's up this because if I do end up adding in, no, I'm not too worried about it right now. Didn't I have over here? Okay. I up that one. That one's fine. That's good. That's a stack. These I limited to 4. So yeah, now we just need a little bit of uranium, which will require me. What is going on here? Oh, really? What in the world are you guys doing? Oh, they don't have anywhere to put anything because I do not have any logistics chests. I didn't bring anything with me? None? Nice. Alright, we'll give them a little bit of a little baby network. There they go. Alright. Oh man, this like minimalist approach is it's something. And yeah, and we've got tons of power. Okay. So we need, like I said, we need to try to figure out where some of this is going to go. I guess I can start to scatter this too. Alright, so lava is back here, so it would make sense. We're probably going to have to do our initial foundries that are making our molten iron and molten copper probably on the southern side of whatever we end up doing. This can all come down now. Now we can leave it. Yeah, we'll probably end up doing it down here. That way we can have a nice little deposit for our stone. And then I can always turn it into landfill before I toss it. It's not really that big of a deal. I'll probably end up awkwardly collecting some of it because if we end up doing, like I said, we're going to try to put quality in it as much as we can. Obviously, we're not going to be producing any quality liquids since you can't have quality liquids, but we're definitely going to collect some stone. This can all be moved. The rocket, oh no. Okay, not a big deal. We can, bare minimum, we can use it to launch our first round of science. Why did you get... What is damaged? Oh. Belt. Bro, I was well prepared when I landed on Vulcanus and was a walking park for Demolisher with a tank. Killed my first demolishers within 5 minutes of landing. Yeah. I typically have quite a bit more stuff with me, but I wanted to hurry up and get here because of the pressure from the biters. The only time that I've actually... So I didn't actually... no, you guys stop. I didn't actually show it on video, like bringing a tank out here and attacking the demolishers with uranium shells, but I did do it like off screen just to kind of get a feel for it, and it was great. It was awesome. But I do like, and a lot of it really boils down to not wanting to use any of the space in the middle, which, I mean, I can still use it. It's just I might end up tearing it down later. I typically prefer not to tear things down when I build. Just because that's what, like like so many Factorio players end up doing that. And I'm not going to say it's from lack of planning because, especially for newer players, you can't really get a run because it's late. All right, take care. Especially for newer players because it's not like you can really plan on things as a new player. And that's what a lot of, like, my last two playthroughs were very much focused on, like, a new player experience. Where was I going with that? Anyways, back to the space. Oh yeah, right. I don't like tearing things down. The amount of times that I've played this game and like had to tear down like an entire base and rebuild it has been absolutely insane. But try to plan around not having to tear anything down. If I build in a way that's definitely not big enough for what I need, I try to plan on being able to add to it, which is where you see a lot of the modular builds, where I can literally just take any, like I can take all of this just blindly and then line it up and boom, I can just paste it right on top. Which is what I did with the gears over here. I just took I took this section down here and just pasted it up here. Obviously, I did not place a splitter over here, but that is not a big deal. And that's actually where, that's where I got the concept of making these like modular builds in the first place. Was I don't like tearing things down and putting them back up. Even though, I mean, obviously you're going to tear some things down. Like, we're not going to continue to build green circuits like this if we end up leaving this on novice, as an example. Which is why I didn't account for up to legendary like I did with, for instance, these over here. So, getting down a base is not easy, which is why I would prefer not to use this space in the middle, because this is largely going to be for biolabs. Like, I'm going to have rockets and stuff over here on the right side. This power is eventually going to go away. A lot of these belts in the middle are going to go away. The water is going to be flattened. Maybe. I mean, I do have water up here, and I've got water over here for, like, nuclear stuff if I ever wanted to do that. But having cliffs on, I wish so much that I did not have the cliffs turned on. Like, that was probably, like, I said this before, but having the cliffs turned on, for one, having the cliffs turned on, having biter expansion on, and then focusing on quality and going for keeping your hands clean, it's probably just too much. And I would say that maybe if you took away any one of those, cliffs are probably the most detrimental, followed by keeping your hands clean. Biter expansion, obviously not a big deal. People, often play with biter expansion. Doing the quality thing, man, if I just had this whole section here just to play with what I had set up here with the looping belts, man, I could have added a lot more. I would have had explosives, which I still might do. Like, I could totally, oh my gosh, I could totally use this space for explosives. You know what? That's actually exactly what we're going to do. Hold on. Because I don't need... I just need... Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's do this. We need water, we need sulfur, and we need coal. That is easy. Sulfur, we can just leech off this. I don't even really need that much. Like, these 4 making this is probably fine. It's 2 per second. This needs 0.25. Oh yeah, we're good. Let's just set this up real quick. Putting it back onto the bus is going to be a little bit of a pain, though. It's actually not, because we're not going to be putting quality into it. So I can leech off not quality, since I don't have quality in the sulfur. Any quality that came up here from coal is just a complete waste of a slot, waste of a space. This will get us, so that is 1 of these worth. And I can just double it. Okay, well, this is... not going to be that bad at all, actually. I've got water kind of close by. Oh, on my bus. Sure, that'll work. Or will it? I need the sulfur to come through here too. Man, these pipes are just like totally right in the way. And there you go. That was an expansion party trying to encroach on my territory. Yeah, that wasn't an attack party. Oops. Okay, so now we've created a new problem. Maybe I will... Let's do this. $275. Let's... I'm gonna end up having a splitter here, so... See how much that is. So we can tell it if it's 200. If coal is less than 200, go right. Filter might need a constant combinator for this. Because I need normal quality coal to continue on. No, this should be fine. No. Okay, so if I did a constant combinator, then I could just tell it to set filter, right? I think. If it's, hold on, less than 200, go right, and if it's greater than 200, go left. Never mind, there we go. Okay, so this is fine. Except it's going to be filtering. Quality will end up blocking this. Let's see. Yeah. But I can't have it unfiltered. Because if it's unfiltered, then any quality that goes to... Okay, I don't think I have any constant combinators over here. I do have two. Sick. Okay, so if I set this up for 200, how would I manage this? I guess I technically need the constant over here first. The little bot that could. Okay, let's take a look at Vulcanus, see what's going on over here. Yeah, we might just toss all this in here for now. Okay, so let's not looking to block us. Okay. I'm probably just not gonna worry about it. I'm not sure how I would. What if I did? Okay, no, I'm not gonna worry about this. I am probably just gonna have to say, without this, let's go back to the 200 scenario. And I'll just have to wrap it back around. Make 3 splitters. Oh yeah, that's fair. The 3 splitter method. It's kind of tight in here, but alright, I'm just gonna have to move these. Oh, they're not at full length anyway, so I can definitely pull these back. And I don't have to have the water be here. Okay, so for the 3 splitter method, we need, no, you can probably, no, I do need this one back. Oh no, I need this back one more. No. So this is going to output right normal quality full, and these can just stay open. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how I can connect the splitters and have it shift what I want to one side, but still allow that item to go through. I feel like since we... No? What do you mean no? Knowing. No, you don't think it's gonna, like, you don't think there's a potential way to connect with a single splitter with the network? Is that the no? Or no, you feel like I did this wrong? Which I didn't, but I need sulfur in here too. Yes, it works just fine. I come off as crass sometimes. I really actually don't mean it to be like that. I'm gonna have to bring some sulfur's gonna have to be weird. So let's bring this over. Let's nope. That this was totally wrong because now I cannot get. I cannot get water in here. I can. I just have to do it from the outside. I have to do it like this. It is what it is. Oh, fine. I went 4 spaces, didn't I? I totally did. I'm gonna move these up. I think would be easier. And at this point, all we need is a collection method. I'm gonna grab a. Oh, I forgot I have bulk inserters. Okay, so back to here. So we've got what do we have? We've got the power covered. Um, explosives will be on the way. I need to, on novice, get this going at some point. So I need to. We're gonna have to. I think I already have pump points. I do not. Now the question is, do I want my fluids to, if I try to wrap fluids back around, I have two options here. I can either have the sulfuric acid kind of have a better direct route, just straight out this way. We're gonna need maybe 1 or 2 sets of pumps out here. Or do I want to wrap it around in the direction because I don't want it to pull away from my, I mean, we're already kind of there, so I might as well just keep going with it. Whatever. We're just gonna go with it. Bots have a lot of work to do, right? And if they didn't have enough work to do... Really? Okay, did I not... There. Oh, I've expanded this pretty far. How about that? Let's get this section here. It's all your train blueprints. What's up with the large T and the intersection? What do you mean? Which blueprints? Because every time I make train blueprints, they're completely different. The ones with the elevated rails? Because if we're talking about the ones with elevated rails, then that's this guy here. What's up with the, whoops, what's up with this one and the T? This one? This is, yeah. So okay. The design from these stemmed around the Roboport grid that I was using. I ended up having a larger Roboport grid, which was kind of close to the same size, slightly larger than what a standard Roboport grid would be. And then I had a smaller one because I wanted to be able to use basically the same Roboport grid for Novice and Fulgora and Vulcanus. Like I wanted to use the same one no matter what planet I was on, so I used one that had Roboports that were a lot more compact rather than the standard like 100 by 100 Roboport grid. And using that, before I even decided on the Roboport grid that I was using, I wanted to make sure that I could design a rail system around it. So I actually tested and created basically all of these elevated rails and intersections before I even really started my bus in, like, as far as timelines go. I hadn't even really started my bus in the videos that were being posted. I had all these designs more or less hammered out. It wasn't like 100%. It was more like I knew I could kind of squeeze them in, but it had to do with largely the elevated roundabout in the middle. I don't want... Okay. Okay, sorry. You misunderstand. I've had probably 5 different Roboport grids that I've used. The very first Roboport that I the very first Roboport grid that I did use was kind of like the standard one. Let me save this real quick and I'll show you what I mean. Here is my test world. Have I really not saved my test world? And wow, it's been that long since I've been in my test world. Jeez. Or sorry, saved my test world. So this is where I did a lot of my configuring, and you can kind of see there was like testing going on over here. It was kind of like just fiddling around. I had like these so I could like cut and paste and just fiddle around. So I was playing around with different rails, but like I'm well aware that, for instance, like the standard Roboport grid is excuse me. And then whatever I was using before would have been, I think I had it on the inside. I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but it would have been something like this with, you know, let's say like 4 on the corner. This is not exact placement. And then like 1, 2, and then like 4 down here, something like this. Whatever that RoboPort, I mean, obviously this is not lined up perfectly, but whatever this style RoboPort grid is the one that I initially used. Later on, I decided that I wanted more room in the middle, so I designed and started using this one. Do I not have it on here? What? Oh, I might have pulled it out. Hold on. This one. So similar concept, and I didn't need these in the corner, but I wanted to like minimize my power pole usage, which was different from the last RoboPort grid that had like 36 or something, and this one has 20. And sometimes I removed these, sometimes I didn't. But whenever I designed these trains, these rails, these blueprints, I went with basically the max distance that the big electric power poles could go, like that. And then I took a RoboPort and put it on top, with the caveat that this wouldn't be rotatable, because obviously if you tried to take this and rotate it, then it would be, you'd have conflicting problems. So it's not that I don't know the standard large size, it's that I intentionally preferred not to use the standard large size. I intentionally went with a smaller one so that I could have different space than like this one. Because I was trying to squeeze builds like in like this and this, and then I would squeeze a build in like this and this, and it just wasn't working for me, and I just wanted a little bit of extra space. And the one that I ended up using, which was kind of similar to this one, like this one obviously uses more than 4 4 big electric power poles, but this is the one that I'm using in this run, which, as you can see, if I cut this, gives me quite a bit more space than the last one that I was using. This space versus the space. So, I mean, that's just how I've been doing things, and I would say the smaller RoboPort grid has given me more space to work with in between, let's say, cutoff sections, so that I'm not always wrapping behind power poles. So there you go, and that's kind of how I settled on what I had now. This is still max distance for big electric power poles. It's just now I have one on each corner instead of putting a RoboPort like right here above it, and it not being rotatable. And then again, all that configured into like the one that I had that wasn't rotatable, that had big electric power poles, max distance apart, RoboPort grids on top. The last rails that I used were literally built to fit that structure, which was a huge pain. As a matter of fact, the biggest pain for that wasn't any of these. These were all easy. It was actually this. This is the biggest struggle that I had with actually making it fit my RoboPort grid, was my stacker. And it wasn't even close. Everything else was easy. Just my stacker was a pain. The curves on, like where the elevated curves come into this, are like they're in very specific locations. You can see at the top of my blueprint here, this little section up here, you can see that this goes past my dotted grid by 1 tile, and that was just something that I wasn't going to be able to work around. you do the Roboport grid with the Roboport in the middle. I mean, it is basically the same thing. Small power pole, and wait. So you do like what, like 4 small power poles around your Roboport? Oh, and I don't care about the actual game grid. Like the actual game grid is so freaking tiny to me. I just really don't care to use it. The only thing that, from my knowledge, which is not as expansive as other people, from my understanding of the game, the only purpose really for the actual game grid, the actual in-game grid, largely, I mean, it's all based around biters. So, I mean, outside of biters, I don't really care to use the in-game grid that much. But I very much enjoyed making these blueprints. Like I enjoyed these a lot. Maybe okay. I didn't enjoy making the train hub because ultimately there was too much space between where I had my stackers and where the trains ended up, like the train depots were. Um, the stacker was like I said, a huge pain to get aesthetically like on point. Making that nice smooth curve in there was just I don't even like, it was so frustrating. And I was using 1x2 trains as well, which is part of why I was probably having problems with my train hub. Yeah, my train hub was freaking massive. And I ended up changing it to like I ended up adding I ended up adding sections here, and at one point, and I don't think I did this on camera. I think at one point I actually set up some signals here so that I could actually have a train here at the station and one kind of like preloaded behind it, so that they didn't have to travel from here to here. They could just travel from here to here. So these train stations were waiting on a slot that was in this section here. Which I mean, I can actually, that one would be really easy to show off too. Let's go look and see what I actually did. Yeah, so I made it so that they could stack up and wait behind them, as well as like be on the stacker. Because I was running out of materials faster than the train could get from here to here, so it was like copied a YouTuber and made any train service system. What do you mean? Like any train can do anything? That's exactly what I have. When I right click on my trains in this world, I have 64 solid trains. I don't have anything else on here except for like a couple of liquid trains. So like this is currently an iron train. When he leaves, there's no telling where he's gonna go. Because the system that I have set up for my trains, so where's he going? Like all of my mining outposts are literally just provider chest. That's it. They're all named the exact same thing. So he was iron, and now he's going to stone. So, or sorry, he's going to an iron mine that is not set up. Never mind. But the way that I have my train hub set up too is with the combinators. So like this is the coal, so this is like my requested amount minus what I have. Or sorry, my requested amount, yeah, minus what I have in storage versus train capacity and setting the limits, and then at the end of the day, if I can bring in more trains, I send an output on the main network. So if I were to just randomly look at my network, I can see that I need coal, I need stone, I need oil, and that activates the outposts that correspond with that. So if I were to go to like here, when they receive whatever signal it is that is corresponding to them, they activate. So I typically don't like I don't have a full set of trains sitting and waiting to be loaded. So there you go. And my stackers are practically useless just because once a train leaves a requesting station, it'll go to a providing station, and I typically try to have this filled up a bit. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. So I have a radar here, and I do not have a RoboPort network that encompasses all of my trains, as you can see. And all of my faraway outposts all use radars. So there you go. Again, like basically the same setup that I have. I think I actually think my blueprint by default has a radar in it, if I remember right. I had someone argue with me too. Like it was the funniest thing. I had someone argue with me that the radars were using up too much power. I'm sorry. This thing is consuming 300 kilowatts. I have 3.4 gigawatts, which is nothing. Like, who are you arguing with? He's arguing that I was wasting energy. It's like, bro, yeah, whatever, dude. All right, back to Vulcanus. Actually, I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Oh no, what am I? Oh, this is a pipeline extent for the sulfuric acid. Okay, I'll fix that whenever I get back. All right, I will be back shortly. Okay, I'm back, and I was just thinking about it too. I have one last thing to say about my trains, and especially in regards to the size of um the whatchamacallit, the train hub. So the train hub, do I have it on here? I do not. This was me fiddling around with creating my new starter base. Let's just post it somewhere over here. So this is the size I ended up with, and I did mention that this could also be used as a 1x4 train, and there was space enough to have these come in too, so it was plenty of space. Obviously, this is not the best way of unloading, but you know, I like it because it's decently space efficient, so I could have condensed all these together by one more train rail, but like I said, I wanted to keep it open just in case I ever wanted to convert to 1x4 trains, which I never did do, obviously. But this wasn't the initial design that I actually conceptualized. The initial idea was actually something that looked like this, and I just, for the life of me, I couldn't get it to. It wasn't going to be functionable, so I ended up having to scrap this completely and do whatever I just had over here somewhere, and ended up with this. So I ended up with, like, I don't even know, 7 lines of iron coming in, which is wild. 7 lines of iron, 3 lines of copper, 2 lines of stone because I had one that was dedicated for stone line, one that was dedicated for stone brick, an oil, and then I had some extras open too. I had like a military. This one's not labeled, but I had a military setup over here. Yeah, these are all unnamed, but whatever. I I ended up being fairly happy with my train network. I think I'll probably try to force myself to use 1x4 trains in the future, only because of the complications that I had with 1x2 trains at my train hub. Once I got the stack inserter, it was just kind of harder to keep my main base like filled pretty much with 1x2 trains. Okay, so I need to figure out. I mean, again, and I hate it, but I think a lot of what we're gonna end up doing here is gonna be temporary. Let's get this figured out. So I'm gonna need to add in. That is not gonna work. We'll just use normal, I guess. That's right, medium electric power poles. And yay for rare pumps. I'll need one there. I am certainly probably gonna need 2 more. I'll need another one somewhere over here. What is this? 305? Yeah. One more to get all the way over. That's gonna be pretty close. Oh my gosh. I keep hitting M. really. I usually trim the edges. If it's like under, I don't know, 2,000, 1,000, that one can go. That one can go. It's fine going. And let's say we drag it here. There. Give the bots a little bit of something to do. Squeeze some power like this. Yeah, I could use substations, but I'm just so used to doing it this way that it doesn't really matter to me. Let's see, for good measure, let's go here. And just because we are going to go somewhere like here. Okay. Those bots have something to do. These bots also still have stuff to do, clearly. So now that we can get this going, now that we can get the mining going, I can start actually making some fuel cells, which means that I can somewhat upgrade to a better ship. Not that you need, like, you don't really need nuclear fuel or nuclear power for starting ship, but buddies, we only have so much of the repair packs to go around. They've already yoinked it. Okay, alright. Abort, thank you. What was I gonna do? I was gonna say, okay, we're gonna do foundries down here to get that cliffs. That is cliffs. I guess we're gonna have to do like here and here. So we'll do like iron here and copper here. Man, this is gonna be rough, like focusing on quality. Or the alternative is I treat it like an actual starter base, don't put quality in it, and wait until we can get like the actual main thing going somewhere up here. So that's going to be one of the biggest questions that I have in figuring a lot of this out is obviously, ideally, most of our Vulcanus, let's call it a bus, would be mostly, let's say, coal, molten iron, molten copper, calcite, sulfuric acid, maybe, you know, petroleum gas, light oil, heavy oil, lubricant. What am I missing? Tungsten carbide and tungsten steel. Treated as starters, yeah, I think so too. Which kind of sucks because, like I said, I want to like try to focus on quality as much as I can. But for a starter, it just really doesn't make sense because I need to just be able to keep it in like a cramped space. I won't really have enough room to do any kind of like belt looping. All right, so let's just pretend like we're gonna keep it as like a type of starter. So I'm gonna have some lava coming through here, and I am the type of person where I typically like to overdo the lava as much as I can. Like, why not get like more than enough that I never have to worry about it. The quality for the foundry, yeah. Do I have 11 of these? That is not a lot. Oh, well. Kind of just want to drag, I don't know, something over here just to have it at least nearby. Alright, what are we behind on? Steel. And I guess I could actually... Did I bring... I think I brought some requester chests with me. Apparently not. Or I like stuck it on a chest somewhere and it's floating somewhere. Okay, so let's forget about that for a minute. Let's figure out where we are putting some of this stuff. So, I'm putting them here on the bottom because I want to have them close to the lava. But we can have them... Yeah, I guess that's fine. Five wide? I feel like on my last build I only did 4 wide. Yeah. Be careful using coal, you'll run out quickly. It's okay, there's a lot on the map. Didn't we just have this discussion the other day? Like, even in my last playthrough, on Vulcanus, I only used total maybe about 1.5 million, and the coal patch that I had on tap had initially like 8.3 million. I mean, I was importing a lot though. Like I had for sure explosives was coming in, so I didn't have to use petroleum gas on sulfur. I didn't really have that big of red circuit and blue circuit operations. It was basically kind of just whatever the bare minimum that I needed. So I will end up using a lot more coal this time around. But like I said, I did cheat a little bit, so I do know that I have some really massive coal patches right up here, and there's not any lava in between. There's just a bunch of cliffs. So I definitely need to get to cliff explosives as soon as I can. Alright, so we need somewhere for stone to come out, which is probably going to be here in the middle. I don't think I'm going to do it on the back side. And because of that, I do need to hop these. Let's say that just because we will put this here for now. Something like that. Yeah, this is small, quote unquote. I don't even think we can't even get all of this stone out, so this isn't even really that helpful. No, this is fine. We're like just not gonna be able to get it all. So one of these guys will be plugged up, but that's not a big deal. Worst case scenario, I can just be like, hey, why don't you guys take some of your extra? It would have to be this one over here. Like, if you guys want, you can take your extra, put it in the chest, which I do not have. Make it into landfill. Okay, I'm gonna like drive myself crazy if I do not get some legs on me soon, or the belt neutralizer, whatever that's called. Power. What am I gonna do for power? Well, that works. So in case I ever want to expand this, I will leave this as is. And I won't be able to drag, like let's say that I copy this, which I am. I'm going to copy this. I won't be able to do the same thing with the iron. Well, I mean, I guess I could make the iron come in over here. So if we drag this... we could totally just do that. It should be short a few foundries. Yeah, I'm out now. Uh-oh. We'll get clogged putting it somewhere between 4 foundries and landfill it, bro. What are you talking about? This is gonna get clogged? Is that what you're talking about here? Unless you didn't hear the part where I said that the amount of stone that we have coming out of this is too much for red belt, which is why I put this here just as a little bit of extra. I mean, and I don't really care that much because I'm not going to have red belts for very long, so it's not even that big of a deal. And I won't be consuming nearly as much iron and copper as these can use. Which was I going to do for which? Let's do copper on this side. So I'm going to swap this one to copper. So this will be copper, and that can come out. Say there. Really? This is going to be like right in the way for now. I mean, that's going to be moving soon anyways. I generally prefer ratios, but I also am a little bit of a realist. I know that I'm not going to be consuming 10 foundries worth of iron, so I'm not going to be producing 10 foundries worth of stone. At least not initially. Like, I like to so I have, okay, so a lot of my reasoning behind why I do a lot of what I do in games like this, and this is survival games. I over collect factory games. Okay, obviously, like, I have a relatively small setup, I would say, on novice. Like, this could have been way bigger, but I tend to prefer to overproduce anything early. That way, whenever I get to the later stages, it's just kind of like, you know, it's no big deal. And that all, like, purely stems from StarCraft. Back whenever StarCraft 2 came out and I was fiddling around with that, I was very much like, testing different like opening builds, and the faster you would get like your drones, your SCVs, your what were those other ones called? You know, your collectors, let's say, the faster you would get your collectors out and collecting resources, even though they were only collecting 5 resources at a time, and it took them a bit of time, the faster you could get them there, and the more you could start collecting faster, the faster you could just ramp up operations. So it was like, you know, an extra drone in the first like 5 minutes compared to someone else would, give you tons of extra units down the road. So I always took that to heart, and that's just my natural style anyway. So I know this is like whatever I end up doing right here, today and tomorrow, this is way overproducing. So I'm just not even concerned about the stone. And I'm also not concerned about this either because I will probably have 3 of these, and I'm still gonna run the stone off down here. Like I'm just not gonna have an extra. I won't have an extra. I mean, I could do like, something like this, not like that, and just collect them in between, something like that. I mean, hell, why not? I mean, to me, it's not really that big of a deal, but it is what it is. That's what was this iron, and let's get. Okay, so we at least have kind of a plan. Like I am gonna kind of have a little bit of a bus come through here, so I will end up. I'm gonna raise this up. This guy can come up somewhere up here. The coal we will not repurpose, but redirect. If I have miners in here, they will be staggered to make room for other stuff coming through. This all down here can be nice and tight eventually. Calcite, I'm actually fine with where the calcite is because I kept it high enough that we can just drop this back in somewhere down here. And once I start getting rid of some of this, preferably, I would maybe get something for metallurgic science. Not really. Yeah, this is gonna be a pain. Maybe I can. Maybe I can hold off on doing this and the builds that I'm gonna have a little bit. Just get some kind of automation going for the steel and the tungsten carbide. Because I want to I just want to send up like one shipment of metallurgic science, send that back on this ship. That way I can at least unlock cliff explosives. I only put basic things on the bus like coal, lava, tungsten, calcite, and sulfuric acid. Yeah, me too, typically. I'm struggling with what I might end up doing purely because of quality. So typically, where did that build go? Here. So, for instance, in my last playthrough, my Vulcanus bus was. I had lava come in, but I believe my lava got replaced at some point. So I replaced the lava line with molten copper. So I had molten iron, molten copper, sulfuric acid, petroleum gas, and I probably didn't need a lot of this, but I did have. I mean, liquids are easy on a bus because you only need one lane for like infinite throughput, and then I just kind of clumped all these together. So that was, the bulk of my 2 copper, 1 calcite, tungsten steel, tungsten carbide, and then 6 liquids. And that was the extent of my bus for the entire time. Even though I did, okay, sorry, up to this point. Forgot about the green circuits and blue circuits and red circuits that I had. And really the only reason why I even did this was because I needed them for, uh, mass production. And then I had some extra tungsten ore coming from back here, purely for a massive steel build, which basically just fed these. Yeah, like I said, I wish I didn't have all these other things kind of clumped together. The cliffs on novice. I mean, cliffs everywhere else is fine because I mean, it's kind of just part of the game, right? But man, like you need so much extra room on novice, I feel, and the cliffs are just not in your favor. And I didn't want to tinker with the map too much. I was like really aiming for just strictly default settings. That was another thing, was default settings. So what did I name off? Cliffs, keeping your hands clean, biter expansion, focusing on quality, and default settings. So it was all like torture in a nutshell. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So basically what you can, the space that you can see right now, I mean, I'm probably not even going to fill up half of this. And again, I hate considering something's temporary, but I think I'm going to build some stuff up here. Let's say over here, consider it temporary, and eventually I'm going to have a section out, I believe around here. And I haven't decided how I'm going to deal with the quality yet, because same questions that I was having on novice. It's like, okay, well, once you upgrade to foundries, there's going to be some pain points, because if I have quality in my miners, then I'm mining quality. Let's just use iron ore as an example. So iron ore is going to initially come out as the 3 qualities. Obviously, eventually, the 4th and the 5th quality up to legendary, which means that inevitably you're going to be collecting uncommon, you're going to be collecting rare, epic, and legendary iron ores. And that means to convert it with a foundry, you would need uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary calcite to go along with it. And I don't want to do that. So I am leaning towards, if and when I upgrade to foundries, I'm also still going to keep regular smelters. So using that mindset, even though I don't normally have like a sprawling bus on Vulcanus, I'm actually leaning towards maybe having a sprawling bus on Vulcanus, purely because of quality and how much of a pain it is. So for instance, if I have, multiple builds that I don't even know off the top of my head, let's say that yes, I had a green circuit, red circuit, blue circuit build. I will have a section for modules for sure. All of them up to rank 2. Blue one obviously up to rank 3. And then anything that I'm not already producing on novice, obviously yes, the foundry will have its own build section. The drill, probably both of these together, because they have a lot of stuff in common. But if I'm not making something in quality on novice, I would, and I'm going to use it frequently enough, and it's worth it, I would like to also make it in quality here. I don't know. I'm still toying with different ideas. So like beacons is a good example. assembling machine rank 3. I do have assembling machine rank 2, but it would make more sense to do it here. And because of the nature of all the stuff that I'm going to have set up, I don't know. I almost feel like I'm going to have almost close to like a standard bus on Vulcanus, even though I really don't want to, and it's counterintuitive with the whole mass liquids on this planet. I feel like I'm probably gonna end up having you know copper plates on the bus and iron plates on the bus and gears on the bus and steel and all this different stuff that yes I could technically make on site and generally prefer to do things like that on site. But again, because of the quality situation, I want to try to add quality into those, and to be able to do that, I need a bus that doesn't stop moving, and to do that, I kind of need them on a bus. So, anyways, I have some stuff that I need to do, so I'm gonna take off early or earlier than I normally go. I normally go for another hour, but I'm gonna take off now. So I'm gonna come back tomorrow. Oh, I feel like I got a decent amount accomplished today. We killed bad boy over here, got the tungsten. I did start to beef up, add in some of the, get a few more foundries. We got this placed. Power. So I got a lot done. Basically everything that I wanted to get done today, I got done today. So, yeah, that is going to be it for me. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sorry, I will be streaming tomorrow. I hope to see you guys there. Yeah, we're getting there. All right, have a good one, and yeah, like I said, I'll see you tomorrow.